Bit of a different video to normal. I'm going to go through the equipment we'll be shooting on in 2025 commercially, not YouTuberly, commercially. So ad campaigns, personal projects, all of that sort of stuff. I'm going to go through the kit and a sort of a rationale for each piece of equipment, what's good, what's bad, all of that sort of thing. There'll be a few jump cuts. You don't see me running around the studio. We're not going to do every single piece of equipment, just the mainstays. The kit I have today, I couldn't have dreamed of affording when I started out. I'm very fortunate to have this, but it didn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for like years. I started in 2009 and I've been slowly building up. We had Bowens lights, we had Canon 5D, no, not even 5D, we had a Canon 450D with a plastic nifty 50 on it. We started small and we built up. This kit here is better than that. It is way better than that. The cameras I have for video, for still life, way better than I had at the start. But I got this stuff by having that stuff. Like my first worldwide campaign, I didn't win it because I owned a Phase 1. I won it because I had a 5D Mark I when everyone else was shooting with 5DSRs. It took time to build it. Yes, these are better, but I did the job without them, and it is diminishing returns. I want to make that really clear. Buying Broncolor lights like this over Godox, diminishing returns. Having medium format over crop sensor, diminishing returns. It's better, that's undeniable, but it is diminishing returns. Like anything, you buy a faster and faster car, they get ludicrously expensive for a few more horses in the bonnet. Smooth. This is my camera. Now, this is actually the skeleton of my camera. The bellows are stored safely away, but this is my camera. This is the Cambo Actus MV from the Netherlands. This is a great bit of kit. This is what we'll be using as the sort of base of my operations. This allows us to do all the technical movements for our still life stuff. We've used it occasionally for portraits, such as this one here, but predominantly this is for still life when we have time, when speed is not of the essence, but perfection is. This is, well, it's a beautiful bit of kit, but this is what we'll be using. Now, this is one that they've lent me. I have my own one, but I'm keeping it hidden, obviously, and utilising their kit so I don't wear my own one out. This is brilliant. I've also got a smaller one of these, but this, you can get them to fit all sorts of cameras. I won't go into too much detail in this, but this is my squeeze when it comes to still life stuff. I love this on my Manfrotto stand, or when we're out and about, we often use the, are they Phobos? Phobos, can't remember. Anyway, Cambos, there we go, Cambos and Phobos. So there's a Cambo stand and a Phoba stand, and you use a guy called Cambo Stan. He rents them out to the studios. He turns up in a van. I've never seen him do it because it's always before I turn up, and he just appears a Cambo stand from Cambo Stan. But there we go, that's this kit here. I don't know if you can see all the way down there. Let's bring it up a little bit just so you can see. When I'm in my own studio, we power it off the NPF batteries just so it lasts all day rather than the little cameras. Obviously this doesn't need a battery, but the next bit of kit, that will. So next up is the first of 3 different camera bodies I use as a commercial photographer that I own, and this is the Fujifilm system. So this is what lives on my camera, it acts as a sensor. This is what we use for the still life stuff. You just use a screen on the back for focusing. It's a big screen, so you can get real good focus, you can zoom in. Nice bit of kit, 100 megapixels. There's not many jobs where this isn't enough. There are, of course, the odd one where you do need something more. 99.9% of the world that I live in, this does it all. This is brilliant. I just like it. You know, it took a lot of getting used to with the menu system on the Fuji cameras. I'm still not sold on mirrorless, if I'm honest. But I mean, any camera on this system here is basically a mirrorless camera because of the way it's used. I'm just not sold on the electronical viewfinders. I've tried several different brands. I've tried the latest Canon, the latest Sony. I just don't like them. Personal opinion, not fact. But yeah, this is what I use. I'm in love with it. The image quality for the price is, there's nothing else you can get. There's nothing else you can get that does this image quality anywhere near this price point. If you want to see a full review on this, let me know in the comments below. I will do one now. I've used it for a year solidly. I know all the quirks and quirbles and how to get the best out of it. This is brilliant. I'll tell you the one thing I haven't done with it though. I've never shot video on it. I'm not sure whether it's worth doing or not, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now with this, the Fuji on the Cambo, we have 2 lenses. The first of which is the Mamiya KL65L. And this is the one with the floating elements. You can control edge-to-edge sharpness as you move through the bellow motions. There'll be a whole video on this over on Studio Access because I'll do a little plug for Studio Access now, actually. Let's chuck that in there whilst we're here. Studio Access is the platform for those of you who want a more in-depth look at photography and videography. It's not the quick fixes we share over on YouTube, it's the more in-depth and detailed information that takes longer to put out there. This is looking at behind the scenes on shoots, working with top stylists, assistants and digitechs, right the way through to practical things like security for your camera equipment, how we make sure that we don't get cleared out, looking after your lighting, care of fuses, bulbs, domes, and all of that information that just isn't for most photographers. Studio Access is designed for those who really want to excel in photography, be it as an amateur hobbyist, an artist, or a commercial photographer. It's really for those who want to go above and beyond what's available on the YouTube platform. If you head over to tinhouse-studio.com, you can find Studio Access over there or the link down below in the comments, as well as in the description for this video. And we'll talk about floating elements. We'll talk about all that really niche stuff. Like if I talk about floating elements on YouTube, no one's going to watch it. No one's going to care about it. But if we start pulling this stuff over on there, it's for people who want to know those extra bits that are just, it's a bit too much information for 99.9% of photographers, but those who need to know it, they need to know it. So that's where that will be. But this is my 65. This is my wide lens. This is what we use for two reasons. There's two reasons why this lens will come out. One is I want to get up close and distort. And two is physically, we can't get any further away from the subject. We need a wider field of view. That's this lens. The next lens is much more bruised and battered. You can see this has had a hard life. This is my 90mm lens. This is like the kit lens for this particular camera brand. This is the sort of what you get with it for these are all from the Mamiya RZ67. These are Secor lenses. Beautiful lenses, very affordable for what they are. You've got this little gold ring here. You can get it on Etsy. There's a guy there who sells them. It's 3D printed and it holds this in place. Very useful as well. But this here is my standard lens. This shoots 99% of my portfolio. Unless I need distortion or I can't get far enough away, which is rare, this is on my camera. It basically lives on there. Brilliant bit of kit. It's the kit lens. It's brilliant. I love it. We use it a lot. Now, all of these cameras that I use for stills, we tether with Area 51 cables. They're not sponsors. They're just the best cables. These are brilliant. USB-C cables. There's nothing better. So let's talk about my other camera, my other stills camera that I'm using commercially. And some of you think I've got rid of these, but I've not. This is my 5DSR and it's got the 24-105 in it. For portraits, this is what I'm using. I'm still much preferring looking through a real viewfinder when working with human beings. Don't care when I'm shooting still life, but with humans, I don't look at a TV screen inside a camera and press go. I want a real camera. And I love this. 50 megapixels, yes, the image quality is nowhere near as good as the Fujifilm, but it's more than good enough. You can't tell which images in my portfolio. Well, actually, go to my portrait portfolio, scottchesino.com/people or something like that. As you scroll down, some are shot on an IQ 350 with a Sinar, some are shot on the Cambo with the Fuji, some are shot on a Cambo with a Canon, some are shot on a 5D Mark I, Mark II. You can't tell which are which. I just like this. Zoom lenses, I've just sold them. I hated them for years. And all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, this is just easier. And I'd rather life be easier so I can focus on the creativity than get that minute increase in image quality or look that people talk about. I can't see it. I'm obviously a Luddite, but there we go. This is my other camera setup. One lens, one camera body. That's the two I'm working with at the moment. I actually shot a worldwide campaign on this camera whilst owning the Fuji this year because it was the weirdest high volume worldwide campaign you've ever seen. It's very rare that you do a high volume worldwide, but it was a complete rebrand for a company shooting all sorts of different things. And because of that, we had to transfer the files electronically to retouches and back and forth and back and forth. And 100 megapixels was too big. So 50 it was. And we had 3 of these on set. Brilliant. Caning through it. Let's get rid of this mess I've created. Not quite sure how to show you this one. We go up. Nearly. This is my video camera. Yes, I shoot YouTube on it, but this is what we use for commercial video too. I'm going to put it down again. Oh, there we go. Let's move back a bit. We'll get it in shot. There we go. This here is a Blackmagic 6K, the crop sensor, not the full frame. It has an 18 to 35 1.8 lens stuck on it permanently. I've got a teleprompter because I've been making adverts today. I don't make my actual YouTube videos using a teleprompter, but for the adverts and they want specific things saying, I pop the notes on here, the little iPad up front works well. Wireless transmitter on the side that you can't see because it's hidden down here. That goes to my external monitors. Little monitor on here just for helping us focus the camera. Wireless focus from Nano. I've currently got a Rode mic on, so we don't use mics for commercial jobs at all. Nice. Okay, here's a pro tip. If you want to look really pro in video, get the bungee cables with the coils on them, not the straight cables. They're just more pro. Obviously, I've coordinated them all red, so they match my little red cable here. We're running off V-mount batteries by Neewer. Neewer are the sponsor for today's video. These Neewer batteries, let me show you one. These are great, and there's a reason why. So obviously you need to plug all your peripherals in. So we have one D-tap coming out for this here to power the focus and one D-tap on the back here to actually power the camera. But often we have extra bits as well. And this has got, look at this, 2 USB-C and 1 USB port, an in and an out 8 volt and 12 volt. And because of that, and this is going to sound really ridiculous, when I've got my wireless tethering system going, I've got my little iPad, I've got one of these charging my iPad, I've got another one charging my phone. So my whole little wireless tether station's running off one of these, and it just makes the whole day run easy. I don't have to worry about the iPad battery going down or anything like that. A little V-mount, little plate on the side of it, stick it to that. It's all on one C-stand. I walk around, I've got my RoboCup on there. I'm having a good time. It's a good time to be alive. V-mount batteries, like I think we've got 10 of these in the studio, V-mount batteries, and they're just, we live off them. We use them for everything. We used to power the cameras from them, but to be honest, we're powering so many other things now which need it more than the camera does, that they're all kind of spoken for. Let me put this back on here. Now in the past, I had a whole array of lenses for this camera here, different lenses with different looks, but no one can tell the difference. And to be honest, 18-35 just covers me for everything. All the other kit I had, I'm selling this year. It's all going on eBay. I'm going to get rid of it all, put it back into the coffers and reinvest it in something useful that will make me money. And let's finish up with lights and modifiers. Now for video, we use the Aputure 600D Pros, often with these, what they're called, hyper reflectors. So if we can get it in shot, there we go. Hyper reflectors, either scrimmed, netted, flagged, whatever. These are beasts. I love these. We've got a load of these lights in the studio. We often like the YouTube videos with them as well. But I just love these lights. They're not sponsors, we're not endorsed by them. They just make good, affordable kit. When I say affordable, they're expensive, but not as expensive as the next step up or like anything else in that realm. They're built well, they're built for pro sets. Of course, what I'm lighting this with now is a Photix light. It's not built for a pro set. It's perfect for this. We're in a studio. It's not getting thrown around by crew. It's not being transported. It's a nice bit of light and it's super cheap. These are expensive, but built to last. And they literally, we use them all the time here. Really good bit of kit. And for stills lighting, we're using Broncolor, of course. I've got 8 of these heads, which are the like utilitarian unilights. And then I've got 6 of the, I think they're called Pulso heads, which have got like the zooms in them and stuff like that. Save you money and buy the unilights. They're 99% as good. The light quality is the same. They just don't have the zoom function, and to be honest, we rarely use the zoom function. They also feel more robust because they're metal. The more expensive ones are in a plastic body. And I just like these. They're utilitarian. And then I never get this right, so someone get at me in the comments. We use these reflectors. They're the big ones. The small ones I find are too small for the distance that we light from because of the inverse square law. We don't need them that small. These I find are a good one, and we use these for portraits and we use them for stills. This is pretty much my light setup. It's one of these. That's it. And sometimes it's 3 of these, 2 bounce off the ceiling and 1 direct for portraits. But these are great, bit of scrim in front of it, or really specular without it. You can see they're quite dented and stuff gets used in here. Put a bit of yellow tape on all my kit as well, so when we do, on those rare occasions, take kit to location, it's really easy to spot my stuff from rental stuff or other people's stuff. But these are just great. I love these lights. These are one of the best investments I've made in my photography. We spent a lot on them, like really a lot on them. We got them cheaper than we should have done. Got a lot of it at auction, a lot of it secondhand. But I think we're currently running with 6 packs and the heads plus the modifiers. It's quite a lot of kit. And again, this is one of those things. Godox, just before I get the hate in there, Godox lights are fine. They do the job. These lights will last me my entire career, which hopefully is going to be longer than you might be assuming. But like, I'm hoping to get 30 years use out of these. I don't think you get 30 years use out of Godox. The Godox light quality is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The build quality is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I like Broncolor, got a good deal. Broncolor's good. It's better. And of course, with anything, as you get more expensive in kit, it's diminishing returns. And let me just make this really clear before we dive into the whole video here. We'll chuck this to the front. And that's what we're looking at here. Let's dive into the video. And there we go, that is the mainstays of my kit for this year. There are other bits, of course, well, there's hundreds of other bits. This is probably, in terms of volume, the minimalist part of the kit, but the rest of it's quite boring. You don't want to see a million, well, maybe you do. Do you want to see the 1,000,001 bits? Maybe you do. Let me know in the comments below. We can show you that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.